We're just sitting in solemn silence until it starts. I think the camera's what?
Chris, Bobis, banana, fana, Bobis, me, my, mo, miss. Chris.
Let's do buck, buck, banana, channel, buck. Oops.
Now do me.
Matt, Bobat, banana, fana, faux fat, fee, fi, faux fat. Matt.
Were you a prostitute in the past life?
What do we?
That was the whole thing. I was hoping that you would. I was hoping you would
Say something.
No, you would just not do anything.
Freak out, leave.
No, I was hoping you would just be like, what, and then
You're freaking me out, man.
Yeah. Apparently, Jonah Hill.
Yeah.
Is that the super bad guy?
Uh-huh.
Apparently, he did a movie with Morgan Freeman. And
Morgan Freeman?
Just listen. And they were like in a car for like 3 days and didn't say anything to each other.
Mm.
And then Morgan Freeman did that. And said, now do my name. And then he did his, and he was like, and that was all we said to each other for 3 days.
Morgan's a whole lot more work than Matt. Let me tell you, Morgan, Boborgan, banana, fana, Foforgan.
Oh goodness,
Morgan.
So yeah, I thought that was a funny thing to try. It didn't exactly work out like I wanted it to, but that's okay.
Oh, I'm sorry to let you down.
No, the guy didn't tell you because I kind of wanted you to be like.
And it wasn't 3 days. It was
no, it was a
minute
a
and a half.
moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was but a moment in time.
So, hey everybody, this is Matt, and we're at Texas Toast Guitars. Thanks for watching, and thank you for the super chat from Brian Duncan, who says, "Keep ad-free rolling." God bless you, Brian Duncan. Yes,
we're so glad you're back in the U.S.
Yeah, so Brian Duncan's back from his.
We were tired of sharing you with the U.K.
Yeah, and the spotted dick jokes,
slimy bastards.
Yeah, they're
spotted dick.
That's like cake.
It is. It's it's in a can.
Okay, cake.
So spotted dick is the perfect name for it.
Sure.
Why would you not want to call it?
Yeah,
something that lets people know what it is. Yeah, cake in a can.
Yeah, what's wrong with any?
Yeah,
I don't.
It's a tin of cake, right?
Maybe one of our people who are watching who live on a different continent can let us know maybe some more about spotted dick. But anyway,
what's the
caper with spotted dick?
What's the story with that name?
Dan says that he changed his whole work schedule so that it wouldn't interfere with his YouTube watching. That's commitment to a bit. Dan Morris.
Dan Morris. There you go. Yep. Well, thanks, Dan.
Van Shank says, I was just greeted by an ad blurb. Oh, AI blurb. I was going to say there should be no ads. Yeah. Gary's here. Brian's here. Lefty. Chris Hendricks. Chris Hendricks is his guitar is on his way to him. I forgot that he changed his address, and he's like, "Oh, hey, dude, you forgot to send it to the new address." So, yeah.
So you got it.
It cost us a little bit to like rechange it around because it's supposed to get there tomorrow. Now it won't get there until the next day or something. So, Mike Backloff, okay, Mike. Here's what I need to do. I need to either put this guitar in a case and put it in a box and ship it to you, or figure out when, because I know you're coming out in August,
which is now just right around the
corner. But the whole point, he's like, well, hey, are you guys coming to Kansas City? Which would be fun too. And I think that there's some plans to do that. I just don't know when. I don't want you to be without your. That guitar is so cool,
But we also like having it up on the wall because it's so cool.
Yeah.
Not that the others aren't, but
yeah. So anyway, Chris, we have a special guest in the shop.
We do
tonight. Yeah, we do, and we have the winner of the 2023 Great American Guitar Building Contest.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we never called it build off, did we? We just kept it real. Devin Riddle is in town and he's here. He's going to be joining us in a little bit because one of the things that I think we should talk about, because it's also right. In fact, it's like either the week before or the week after.
Well, we have that August is going to be the busiest month you and I have ever had.
No, September is going to be.
Well, I thought we had two classes separated by a GAGBAF C.
No, September we have 2 classes. August we just have the one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And a GAGBAF
C. Yeah, and a great and a GAGBAF
C.
Yeah. So anyway, but we need to talk more about that. And we need to talk more about all the other cool things that are happening. And it looks like Brian Duncan is just like having my name in the phone book. He's been a member for 26 months. That's cool. So, and of course, guys, as you know, all of our live stuff is ad-free. Let me ask y'all a question. Chris, you can answer too, but
okay.
But since you don't watch the videos that we do live, sometimes you're on them and sometimes you're over there actually working. What do you guys think? I want to do more videos. Would you like to see more? Would you like to see more live content? Would you like to see more pre-recorded content?
Maybe branching out into what you talk about during a live stream?
Well, that's kind of what it is. Yeah. There's a brand new series of videos that I'm going to try, and they're called Uncle Matt Stories. And they're all about, like, for example, I think the first one is going to be, I have a running list of all the stories that I want to tell. And the first one is the very first time I ever met a luthier. Do you know who that was?
I'll say Master Luthier Bruce Clay.
No, that's not true. No, I don't even know the guy's name, but I can't tell too much because then that'll ruin that Uncle Matt story.
Might be some dude.
Could just be some guy. Yeah. Doug Seidlitz sent us $20 and said, Super Chat, because Ike's icon looks and sounds so good. Man, Doug, you ain't lying. That thing is killer. And the guys at Flipside Music, the great American guitar store, they have a way to, I don't know how they do it, but they have a way to upload. They can play. First of all, they can play, and they can play while they're live.
So the deal is that building of theirs had no internet before.
Yeah, it's something about upload speed.
It took a monumental amount of work between, Ike and
Ryan do some of that?
Yeah, and Ryan Elias, I think helped him out, at least guided him through the path on how to get internet there, because it was a big deal.
Yeah.
And so they got the new hotness and we have the old lameness.
Well,
here.
We have
it's
just
okay,
regular,
but I think a few years in between can really change things, and we're in an industrial. Well, they're in an industrial park too, but anyway, they got it's no more effort to run the good stuff now.
Yeah.
So for us to do it would be a Herculean task, and then we'd have to play guitar on these things.
Yeah, which no one wants to do that.
Yeah.
So Brian Duncan sent us another super chat and said, "Buy Devin a beer too." Thank you, Brian. I think we're going to go get some Mexican food at the Los Tres.
At the Mexican food joint.
Dylan says that he's very excited to get his icon. I actually bound Dylan's icon just tonight.
Cool.
Today. Jay sent us a super chat and says, "Ad free." Thank you, Jay. Jay, I know I said this the last time, but I still have your plans that you did during the workshop, and I keep meaning to send them to you. I have them right here. I even have a mailing tube. I just have to get to pull my head.
A lot going on in the shop this week too.
Yeah, we do. Including I had a meeting with our StewMac rep.
Our liaison
yesterday, and I actually we have a new StewMac thing. It's okay. I know that I talked about this when Ike was here last time. Hold on, I'm going to take a super chat from Chris Hendrickson. Says, to help with shipping, also I'd love to hear some Uncle Matt stories. I really love the introspective on the tooling several months ago. Well, Chris, I think these are going to be really fun. I'm looking forward to them, and I think that you guys are going to dig them. Rusty Shackelford says, "Can I get an email or update on my Challenger? Maybe done, or is that annoying?" It's not that it's sometimes it can be annoying, Rusty, but okay, here's when it gets annoying. When I don't know your actual name and your email handle and your YouTube uh, uh, handle, and if you have multiple things, I don't know who I'm talking to sometimes. So like, um, uh, and that happens often. So guys will have multiple emails, multiple the YouTube handle and their name, and none of them match. And they go, "Hey, when's my guitar done?" I'm like, "Well, I don't know. Which one is yours?" So so if you could tell me, if you could give me the some more information, I'm happy to let you know and keep you updated. But yeah, so the best way to do it is to send me an email. I almost said I always get back to email. That's not true, but I try to get back to emails. But Joy gets all the emails that you do through the website, so that would be the best way to do it. Um, so yeah. Oh crud! We were talking about something, Chris, and I can't remember what it was. I just made it into the ether. I don't know where. Do you remember?
No.
Right. I do remember. Last Tuesday,
yeah.
Ike and I were talking about some things in addition to his Icon guitar, and one of them was the new plans for 2025 and all of the workshops that we're going to do. So I kind of touched on this a little bit. Let me just say we are going to be doing more workshops than ever before in 2025. And some of them will be the same format that you guys are used to, that you know that we do. And some of them will be a new format that are going to be more intense, deep dive into. We've got it broken down into 5 components: necks, bodies, finish, electronics, and setup. And each one of those has a 2-part component. It will be essentially a semester-long thing. And so Stu Mack said, "That sounds really cool. We want to be on the ground floor." I'm putting words into their mouth, but for sake of brevity, which I realize I'm not doing, they said we would like to get in on that. So we've got some all new workspace areas that are going to be loaded with even more StuMac tools, and I guarantee you, Devin he'll back me up on this. When you see where you get to work and all of the neat stuff that you have to work with, you will say, "When I get home, I'm going to go buy all that stuff, and I'm going to buy this exact same work area, and I'm going to put it in my garage or basement or wherever I work on guitars, or my shop, whatever it is. You're going to want this because it's that cool," right, Chris?
Yep, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this StuMac's helping us out with some of it, but it costs a lot to do.
It does.
So
yeah.
We have to add more workshops.
Yeah, and you don't want to. Yeah, I mean, StuMac has a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
they don't have everything, and yeah, not everything they have fits what we're doing. So yeah.
Okay.
We spent a bunch of money on paper towel holders this week.
See, it's just everyone's going to have all their own stuff.
Yeah, everybody gets their own roll of paper towels.
Yep.
If you have ever been to a class.
Yeah. Joey Dano Guitars says the ad free is awesome. I'm counting down the days till September. Doug, I am too. Doug's gonna. I hope you bring like a 90. Van or something, because there's so many guitars that there's a 3-neck guitar and an Icon and a couple of.
We need to look at that before
deals.
We wasted all that time. Looking at the 3-neck guitar. I'm so stupid. I even thought about that.
Dan Morris, Old Dog, says the Will Durant quote on the website is perfect. Yeah, so Joy does all the website stuff and likes to curate that and add new pictures and puts up like
I check it every once in a while just because I want to see if there's any new pictures.
It's because it's.
I mean, websites have to be, they can't be stagnant.
Yeah, it's
or
not
they become stagnant.
it's not a graveyard that you've seen
Correct.
everything
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
So she curates the pictures and adds new like, because people will be like, hey, I got my guitar and it's excellent, and I just or
yeah,
or I got my guitar and I'm a whole new I'm a man among men now.
I'm a brand new man.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Be a man among men, Chris.
I try.
Or be a woman among women if you identify as. No, I'm not talking to you.
It goes into a whole other thing.
I know pronouns are a whole thing.
Not pronouns. Not pronouns. Yeah. Gender roles.
Yeah, I don't know how that stuff works. I'm old. But anyhow, so yeah, the new workstations are going to be really cool. I think you guys you're just going to dig it. There's going to be more room to do stuff, and it's just going to be, so for you veteran guys who've been out here once or 10 times, you're going to walk into the shop. Devin, when we get Devin up here, he'll be like, yeah, it looks totally different than.
It does look totally different.
Yeah.
It's not even done yet.
Yeah.
It's sort of blown up, but it's a much different space. Yeah. There's more room for dancing.
There's all kinds of room for good stuff. So anyway, Chris, what have you been up to, man?
So I've been doing a little bit of the shop remodel. I've been assembling a bunch of guitars, as always. I mean, that should just always be one of the things. I shouldn't even have to say it, but I'm saying it. Yeah.
Jason B just said he signed up for the September PRS class. What hotels do you recommend that are closest to the shop? Jason, I think you signed up just today. I'm going to send you some letters with, like, hey, thanks for coming out. And again, thank you for everybody who signs up for these workshops and buys guitars from us. It means everything. It means that Chris and I get to eat and live in houses. But you'll be getting information on lodging, like what you need to bring every day, like your treat bag and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, what you need to bring for my treat bag.
You don't eat treats.
I don't eat treats, but you could bring me something.
So, but I will get those out to you probably in the next 24 hours. And thank you again.
There's lots of places to stay around here. It's actually, we're fairly central.
Yeah. The hot setup is and like Doug and Dave and Dan are doing this, and I'm sure they're not the only ones. They got an Airbnb like right down the street.
Yeah.
And they saved a bunch of money over a hotel.
Yeah.
And the three guys, and so like it's like they're all going to the same spot, so they're coming here, so they're taking the same car.
Yeah. There's also some from what I hear and what I've seen, some pretty good like 1 to 2 person Airbnbs too. Like if you were a couple, you could come out, or if you were a single person, nice stuff.
And one of the things that
you don't have to have 3 or 4 or 5 guys. You're not renting an entire house. You're renting a section of that. So
one of the things that I do is I keep everybody on the same group. So if you want to, like, say if Chris is in your class and I'm like, oh, hey, I'm going to ask Chris if he wants to get an Airbnb. And then, so that way you guys can kind of make plans and save some money on that stuff.
Yeah. If I was in your group, you'd want to share with me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very tidy.
Yep.
And I normally smell good.
Dylan says he sent us a super chat to tell us that he sent us a fun package that we should get tomorrow. Now, I happen to know what
fun package.
One of the things in the fun package was, and it's probably more candy. Dylan's sending candy now, dude. Thank you, Dylan. Tom L has some questions about finish, and he. How much do you feel like giving away your top secret stuff on the 73 finish?
Virtually none.
Okay. I think that the hot setup is, we cannot tell you guys how we do the 73 finish.
No.
Because it is something that we worked a long, long time. And it's not because I don't like you. Okay. It's because it's not an industry standard thing. It's something that Chris came up with.
You and I came up with.
That's right.
There was a bunch of tests and a bunch of things. And
But you do it. I like if you said, "Hey Matt, can you go in and spray some 73?"
You
well,
can, but
I mean,
yeah, you'd have to
I would need
spray more than a couple before you said, okay, I got this.
But it is a proprietary finishing, not just uh hardware and fin. It's a whole it's a system.
It is a system, yeah.
And
It's process, it's a system. Yeah.
You
So much of
cannot
this is
buy
all
73
cannot buy 73 finish off the shelf.
No.
But Tom L, you're probably smart enough because you've been around long enough in all of this and you've done a lot of this that you can probably maybe sort of deduce some of what's going on.
Yeah.
And it's not brain rocket surgery.
No, it's not.
It's
harder.
It's way harder than that. No, it's just, I mean, it's not, there's no magic tricks in it.
Tom says he understands, and I appreciate that. It really is. Okay, so I can here. Let me tell you something. Tom says I have never sprayed a matte finish. LOL. Well, you're not exactly on the right track, but you're not.
We've never sprayed a matte finish either.
That's right. Okay. Well, and some of the stuff that we do, it costs a lot of money to get the hardware. So what I will tell you is that there is a UV light component. How about that? So if you don't have a UV light that is handheld or not take it out into the sun and bake it. You have to have a UV light to do one of the things that we do. Without that, there's no 73 finish. How about that? Is that fair?
Maybe.
How's that for not the least committed? That's probably the best answer you could give, Chris. Okie doke. Sean says, Chris, I'm getting a lot of fish eyes. Could it be I'm trying to apply too much at one time?
Yeah, it could be when you put too much paint on and you get what looks like fish eyes, that's actually solvent pop. And usually that's a matter of not letting each coat dry long enough. The other thing that I would check is what you're using. There's so many things. He's in a humid area.
Oh, that's another
thing. And
it
depends on the product that you're spraying as well. If you're spraying lacquer, there's all sorts of ways that happens when you don't let the previous coat dry long enough before you spray another coat, and the top coat dries before the bottom coat dries. That's a fisheye thing. But if you're spraying modern paints, it's usually a contamination issue. So you need to look at what you're using to wipe down the guitar with, and from what kind of rags you're using, and look back and figure out what you were using in the past when you weren't having these issues. It could be an issue with the air hose. Contamination in the air. That's a thing. It could be, one time I had a bunch of old drumsticks that I used for stir sticks.
I remember that day. This is going to be easy. It's going to be great. And
they were all shellacked, I think, basically is what they were.
Had some oil or something.
They had something on them, and that contaminated the paint. I ended up with a bunch of fish eyes that way too.
We had to we had to grind
all that stuff back. So yeah, I think there's a bunch of different reasons for fish eyes, and sort of pay attention to all of that stuff. I've also seen.
Can I interrupt you before the comments scroll past? Joel, we have your case. Okay.
Yes, we do.
Sorry that I did not.
I've tried to give it away several times. I'm like, oh, are you? Well, you're not, Joel. No.
Nope. So, I don't know if Ike let you know or not, but yes, Joel, we have your case
here.
Okay.
The other thing I've seen is if you're using like base coat, clear coat, like we use, if you over reduce the base coat too much and you spray too much on, it likes to spread. It likes to fisheye that way too.
Vital Nomads asks, sunbursting with aerosol cans. What's the best way to do this outside? Best to use a fan, mask, etc., to prevent overspray for a 57 Junior. Thanks so much, Jim.
I saw his question the other day. I think he left the same question on something else.
Okay, thank you for the
And
super
my
chat.
honest answer is I don't know. I've never sprayed a burst with a spray can. I've seen all the threads on like the old re-ranch forums with guys making, cardboard.
Don't make a cardboard
bucks and trying to fade it in that way. And I don't know. I wish I could be more help, but
the simple
but
fact
I
of the
can't
matter
do
is
it.
that I think that you should be able to do a sunburst exactly the same way that we do with an aerosol can, just different. And what I mean by that is I don't make a pattern and don't do a bunch of
Yeah,
hold
yeah.
the biggest trick that I think that people have with getting sunbursts right is they try to spray away from the guitar.
Oh, yeah,
They
yeah.
try to start in and spray away.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly the wrong thing. Okay, so if you have an aerosol can, Chris, or if you have, I guess what I mean by exactly the same but different is, and it could be what I mean is, I don't know how close you should be in relation to the guitar with a bomb can versus a spray gun.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is, you're atomizing paint, and it's coming out of a nozzle, and if you're doing a sunburst, you need to aim that at the guitar and have the angle be right. Now, the angle might be different on an aerosol can than it is on a spray gun.
Yes, it is going to absolutely be, because the fan on an aerosol can is, let's just say it's that wide, so you can see it that wide. I can dial in our spray gun to be that wide, that wide, as wide as you want
You
it
can
to
go
be.
from a point
But
to
because your spray can is spraying this, doesn't mean that you need to have the center in the center. You can
yep.
Just waste 3/4 of the paint off the bottom of the thing. And the way that you do it is you don't spray it direct square with what you're doing. You spray it at an angle.
And the angle might be, I don't know what degree the angle is. It
Yeah,
might
I
be
usually
45, it might be
shoot
13.
for 45. Yeah, and then rock it in. I don't know that I ever spray much more than a 45-degree angle on something, but you could, if your pattern's this big, you could spray down like this and barely touch that edge. And some of this is going to take some practice with an aerosol
I think
can,
all of it's going to take practice,
because
right?
because an aerosol can isn't designed to paint little things like that. It's designed to paint big things.
But I tell you, I know that a good result can be achieved. It's not going to be something that you're going to be able to. You're going to have to practice, and you're going to have to practice with the expensive paint, because shooting Krylon primer is not the same as shooting lacquer out of an aerosol can.
Yeah.
And at some point, you might go, gosh, it is just as inexpensive to just buy a small spray gun. I don't know. I don't know at what point that, but
aerosol cans have gotten more and more and more expensive.
I know, right?
And if you have 5 or 6 or 10 cans of paint into a body, it's like, which could happen on a 3-tone sunburst
Pretty
with
easy,
a bunch of clear and stuff. Yeah, it might be time to consider a small.
What are the re-ranch stuff? There's 11,
they don't
12
even
bucks.
do it anymore.
Oh,
But
they
yeah,
don't?
when they
Okay.
that is since cratered.
But the fact of the matter is, all
yeah, I
that
think they were
making a
12 or
pattern,
13 bucks.
that's nonsense. Don't do that.
I never saw anything that I thought was even remotely okay with that. It's just the wrong way to go about it.
The people who spray sunbursts every day don't have a little thing that a cheater thing. And even the people who spray a sunburst once a month, like me, I do it the old school way. I just kind of get in there and do it. And
it really
I've
is
done
nice
a lot
to have
of them, but
a gun that you can control the amount of paint that comes out. Yeah. And it in these modern times, it is so easy and inexpensive to get some pretty okay starter kind of stuff.
He also asked us, using a booth help keep the flow trajectory.
No, that's the other thing that he asked about. And
yeah,
no,
I remember
nothing. It has nothing to do with the spray booth. I could do this outside. I can do it in my car.
You ever done
I
that?
could do it, yeah. In a bar, I could do it, yeah, from afar.
You could do it on a boat.
In a boat, in a moat, on your, no, it has nothing to do with that. It's all about It's all about gun control. It's all about the right fan pattern, the right amount of paint, and the right gun control around the body. And unfortunately, an aerosol can puts out way too much paint to be really, really,
unless you're talking about clear, and it puts out not nearly enough.
Then it puts out not enough. Yeah, yeah. And if you're painting a wall, a brick wall, and you need to get really close, then you can get really close and do it. But
hey, Kiki's here. Hi, Kevin. Yeah, so it's all
right?
it's all about practice. And
it is all about practice.
If you want to come out to our finishing component workshop, we can give you all kinds of practice. That's the thing. Actually, we can give you the training that you need so you know what to practice.
Yeah.
Okay. It's as simple as that. If you don't know what to practice, then you might be practicing wrong. If you get some training from Texas Toast Guitars, you can go home and you can practice to your heart's content until you get it exactly how you want.
Yep. Yeah. And one of the things with painting, and something that I've always done when I watch somebody else paint, is I watch how they move their hands, not just the motion, but the whole process of what they're doing.
Yeah.
And when they start the gun, when they stop the gun, just all of it. And I've learned, like watching Mike learn airbrush and gun control. Okay, it's little bursts.
That's right. He has those little dots and little X's.
Yeah, and you do all of that stuff, and by the end, by the 20th X and O, you're starting to get pretty good at it. So don't expect to be able to do it perfectly the first time. It takes lots and lots of practice.
Yeah.
And it takes lots of dexterity and paying attention. It's a lot like playing an instrument, playing a guitar, playing a piano, playing whatever. You can know all the notes and know the song great, but unless you've sat there and played, you're gonna
you gotta
it's just gonna your Sunburst's gonna look like you're banging on a piano. It's a terrible analogy.
I've seen some crappy Sunbursts out of factories too.
Well, yeah, and that's because they have 50 more to do before lunch. Yeah, but luckily we don't have to do that. I can spend an extra 5 minutes on a Sunburst.
Yep. Okay. Anyway, so well, so why don't we get Devin up here to talk a little bit about the
let's get Devin up here.
100-ounce challenge.
So he'll sit here and I'll pull up another stool.
Okay, let me scooch over.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, you came here for a reason, didn't you?
Well, yeah, vacation.
Okay.
And see my friends.
So everybody who already knows. Everyone who doesn't know, this is Devin Riddle, and he is last year's winner, 2023 Great American Guitar Building Contest winner. Devin, tell him what you won.
Co-winner. I won a buttload of cash.
A fat stack of cash?
Yeah, fat stack.
Shit.
That just made
Still look okay?
Yeah.
It looks. It didn't scooch it around too much. That's good right there. Yeah, let's call that good. Yeah. So how much money did you win? If you don't mind me asking, I already know, but they might not know.
I think it was like $2,300.
Yeah,
I thought it was $2,550 because there was a weird 50 in there, but maybe not. Maybe I'm combining.
I want to say Candle gave us $25 for, so it was yeah.
It might have been 24.25 because
maybe that sounds
Okay.
Let's go with that.
So
it's a sizable chunk of cash.
Yeah.
Well, now, do you feel like you made out well on that, given that you had to give the guitar away to me?
Well, I didn't.
You didn't have to give the guitar away to me.
Yeah. You mean you still own it?
Yeah.
A guy in Australia doesn't?
Yeah.
And it didn't return?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one of the cool things about the Texas Toast Great American Guitar Building Contest is you don't have to donate your time to charity. You can donate the money to charity if you want. I don't care.
He sort of did.
Your money.
Half of it.
Yeah.
I have the other half to my daughter.
So you make a cool guitar. You get to come out and hang out and do this neat thing, and you won a fat sack of cash. Some people won others. We had other prizes too. Candle won a free workshop. Kevin won some pickups. I forget who else won other stuff.
Yeah, we had some other stuff too. Yeah. How many people asked you to sell them your guitar for $400?
Oh, that's right.
No, well, Matt might have.
Oh man, missed.
It wasn't a claimer match.
That was kind of one of the rules was to keep you under the $400 mark or at the $400 mark. That if he thought that you were
explain what this $400 mark, because it's been a year, dude. So what in the heck is this $400 thing?
Well, last year's contest, the challenge was to build the best guitar you could for $400 or less.
And so what did that include?
All the materials.
All the materials,
but
none of your labor.
None of your labor. Yeah. The materials, the wood, the pickups, the hardware, paint.
Okay, now this year, last year, a lot of people had a bunch of questions for me about, well, what if I do this? What about this? What if I go to a garage sale and I find a 1959 Les Paul? And I'm like, you know what? Next year, I'm going to have a completely new, utterly ridiculous set of rules that is impossible to cheat on.
Misconstrue.
You can. There's probably ways to cheat, but there's no way to like. I won't be bombarded with questions about like, what if I do? So what's this year's contest is what? I know, but yeah.
100 ounces. The guitar has to be within plus or minus 1 ounce of 100 ounces.
So the guitar now, people were like, well, that's not too hard. I can make a guitar under 6 1/4 pounds. And I said, no, the guitar has to weigh 100 ounces, give or take 1 ounce. So your guitar has to weigh 99, 100, or 101 ounces to be eligible. Not less. It has to weigh exactly that. That's the dumbest rule I could think of. It's so stupid.
And I do think it's causing some heartache for you're doing this and it's like, oh gosh, how am I going to keep the weight down? But I think at the end of the day, I mean, get her close and you can fine tune from there. Maybe shoot a little under.
Yeah.
If it was me, that's the way I would do it. Is I would figure out the guitar I want to build. I would buy a bunch of hardware and weigh it. And then I would figure out where I am with wood and stuff like that and try and.
Well, we figured that if you take this guitar here and put a roll of masking tape inside of it, it weighs 100 ounces.
Yeah.
So Doc says it's harder than you think. I'm like, no, just build a really light guitar and then put a roll of masking tape in there.
Yeah.
Done.
I think one of the judging criteria should be obvious weight additions or subtractions.
That's another way to do it. Buy a guitar that weighs close to that and then start cutting pieces off. Yeah.
Hacking things off. Yeah. And now, like let's just say you have a Strat and it weighs exactly 100 ounces, but it's missing the bottom horn. There's got to be a judgment on that.
Well, remember,
reduced score.
Remember that the 100 ounces just gets you in
the door, right?
You still have to have a fully operational.
So I mean, so if you have no obvious hacked off parts that are causing this thing to happen, then okay. But if you have a bunch of speed holes in the top of your telly with a 7/8 bit, and there's 6 of them, probably gonna know you're half an ounce over, right? So
what if they
last
like
second
Swiss cheese though?
Yeah. So some guy's out in the parking lot. He brings his guitar in. We weigh it, and we're like, "Oh, you're a half ounce over." Runs out, and starts just sawing off bits.
I have a question though.
I'm all ears.
What if we make a 7-pound guitar? We just think it's really cool and want to come down and have fun, and
that's absolutely.
I think you should do that. Yeah. What if you make a 10-pound guitar?
Prepare to lose.
I'm going to tell you. I mean, winning last year was a complete and utter surprise.
Would you believe it?
I just wanted to come down and take part. And have a good time. You're going to have fun.
I think that's part of it too.
The challenge. It gets the juices flowing. When you have a challenge and something to shoot at, I mean, you're not going to make every 3-pointer, but sometimes you got to shoot your shot.
What I probably should have done is said, just make a guitar and bring it. But that's what we did the first year.
That is what we did the first year, yeah, and yeah, there was some good stuff there.
There was a lot of great stuff, yeah.
The $400 thing was fun because in a lot of ways, everybody wants to make the ultimate guitar, and that stopped a lot of that from happening as far as, buying your way to success.
Yeah.
I don't know if how many of you have ever been to an open night at the drag strip, and guys with brand new super hot cars show up and they can't drive at all. They're trying to buy their way to success. You can't do it in a $400 guitar challenge. So, but you can build something really, really cool. And so what you built was basically a Dimebag Daryl tribute with all Telly stuff.
Yeah.
Or mostly Telly stuff.
Yeah, Telly stuff.
And Telly stuff.
The most affordable material. Yeah.
Really economical.
Wilkinson.
And fairly, but all of that disappeared because you did such a great job with fit and finish. And so at the end of the day, nobody went, well, that's just a Dimebag Daryl with a bunch of Telly parts on it.
Yeah.
They went, oh, this guitar is really rad because of all the cool other stuff. You took everybody's eye off the $400 part and put it all on paint and cool idea and graphics on the back that your daughter did and all of that stuff.
I can tell you right away, I've never handed that guitar to anybody and had them look at it and say, this is pine. This sounds like and it is.
It's just made out of.
It's made out of 2x8 from the lumber store.
Nice.
With blue pine flooring. I trimmed the joints off and glued together. I mean, it's
excellent.
4-piece top.
There you go. 4-piece. There's no way that guitar's going to sound good.
Brian Duncan says, I finished one and it's about 1/10 of an ounce over. It's ugly. Don't play and rickety, but it fits the criteria. Brian, we've seen that guitar, and I think that guitar is a great example of the 100-ounce challenge.
Yep.
I think Brian bought a guitar.
He did,
and then made it weigh 100 ounces.
Christmas.
They had a great
over Cridman.
They had a great time.
Had a
monkeying around with
guitar weight reduction party.
Yeah,
and did a bunch of stuff, painted it, and put it back together.
Tom L., who is also a nice guy, said that Devin is probably the nicest guy a guy can be while looking like he should be on a watch list.
How do you know I'm not, Tom?
Yeah, we don't know. We don't know.
Is that a state-to-state thing, or
as long as I don't cross state lines, it's fine.
Yeah, depending on which state. Yeah. Curtis Chavez says we have a lovely array of yellow guitars behind us, a rainbow of yellow, and there's I love the kind of, I don't know what you call it, earth tones, but I love this shade. I think it's my favorite guitar shade because I always wear a black t-shirt, so I want something that if it's yellow, it really stands out.
There's Sunbursts never really go out of style. They still make violins in Sunburst. Last time I checked. Not the most modern reference I could have made.
They don't make refrigerators in avocado
anymore. That's right.
Now, okay, you hear that? That's the feverish typing of somebody saying they sure do.
Yeah. We default to, and all of these have tops, cool maple tops, and it's a shame to cover that stuff up with a bunch of weird colors.
And he's only seeing the top. This one's got red. This one's got natural. This one's got.
Devin, you're making out. SS just bought you a taco.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm not sure what kind of, but remember the Choco tacos?
Yeah.
Daddy's eating good tonight.
Yeah. Yep.
Thank you.
Yep. So what advice would you have for people who are entering or want to enter the Great American Guitar Building Contest?
Well, I'm so glad you asked me, man.
I'm glad you're going to tell us.
Oh, you meant Devin.
Whichever, whoever.
I'd say do it. You're gonna have fun.
Yep.
And it's gonna be a great, whether you win, lose, draw, you're gonna have fun. It's gonna be a learning experience. The paint on my guitar, I wiped off 5 times.
Now, I remember you actually
first time
me, and you're like, "Well, I guess I'm gonna." Yeah, I have some issues with the paint. I guess I'm gonna have to let it dry, and then sand it off. And I said, "You can wipe that shit off."
Yeah. And I did 5 times before I got where I wanted.
Entire. I think you used an entire quart. Yeah, because you sent me a picture of an entire pint of blue, and then you said you reduced it, so that's a quart. Yeah. And at the end, you had none left. I'm like, how big is this guitar, man?
Well, it was kind of big.
And it was a lot of coats because the blue wasn't very dark.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
Now, Chris,
learning experience.
Learning experience. There you go.
So whoever wins is going to win a fat stack of cash because you got to pay with cash. So your entry fee is $100 and it's got to be cash. The reason it's got to be cash is because first of all, you can't hand somebody a fat stack of PayPal. And if you send it to me to PayPal, I get taxed on it. So if it's just you're entering this thing and it's $100 and somebody takes home all the money, Chris and I make nothing off of this. We made zilch.
Unless you
count the fund.
Fat stack of cash and cash it in on one of these.
Well, then we would be making out like fat rats.
I might have done that.
But we also, so not only did we make nothing on that deal, we also gave away a workshop, a $1,500 value to the person who won that had the lowest score. I didn't mean to make it like, ha, 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 you got the lowest score, you needed workshop. But it was like, well, let's give this away to somebody who is really going to like it. And as it turns out, the person who won it was like, I was hoping I would win. So if you want to, put in
she might have.
We don't know.
I don't think
so. Dastardly Dave said, Brian made me do it. Rock on, Driddle. God bless you, Sir David.
How many guitars did Dave bring last year? 2? I think he brought
Dave
2.
brought 2. Doc brought 3.
How many did Wait, Limba.
Bobby Dill might have brought one.
Dill.
Yeah,
he brought 2. Yeah, he did bring 2 last year.
The red one,
and then he brought a limbo one.
Limbo.
Yeah. He it was really tight too. By the end, it was like 2 or 3 points.
1 point.
Was it 1 point
between first and third?
I want between me and Bobby Dill.
I want to tell you guys something else. Chris and I are not judges. We did not judge last time. We did not judge the time before that, and we are not judging now.
I know I'm incorrect. It was a tie, and it went to People's Choice.
Oh, did it?
Oh, that's right. We did have
it. Was
okay.
A 1 vote difference.
That's right. So everybody so we did it at Odyssey Beer Works, and everybody got to vote. Everybody got 1 vote. That's right. And the judges came up with a tie. There were Jimmy, Mike Learn, Don DeMasi, Noah Getke, and Brian Duncan.
And Ike.
And Ike from Flipside Music. So there's a handful of judges, and they added. And I guess there was
all the criteria of how to score
and you circle 1 through 10.
Yeah, and it was fun to watch as ambassador of fun during that day. That's my whole job. Is put your guitar over there. Now let's have fun. And I did a great job last year. If you were there, and it was fun for one thing. Odyssey Beer Works was packed with people.
Yep.
And we put all the guitar judges in the back.
Yep.
And it turned into Guitar Center.
It was nuts.
And guys would come out and they'd grab a guitar.
Yeah.
And they were all numbered, and they'd take it back, and they'd all share the guitar around the room, and you'd hear guys playing, and every once in a while a little jam would break out.
Yeah.
And it would be like almost something, and then it would devolve into a bunch of AC/DC licks or whatever.
There are there's so many super chats coming in, gang. Let me take some of these here. Don says the stuff we're forced to learn to compete, that's the real prize. I really do think that making something that is outside of your wheelhouse is a really cool thing to try.
Yeah, and the other thing too is if you're doing one of these contests, don't make the guitar that you want. Make the guitar that you think other people want. And so
Van Shank Guitar says a beer for a Driddle. You're gonna get drunk tonight.
Everybody wants it.
Yeah, everybody wants that.
Dylan Talks Tone says the Lantern Rogue. Okay, hold on a minute. Did you hear Van Shank's super chat of a beer for Driddle?
Oh, thank you.
Dylan Talks Tone says the Lantern Rogue trope. Is that the last place?
Lantern Rouge.
Lantern Rouge. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Last place.
We called that, but in the shooting world, we had something not unlike that, but there was a Tyro Award, which is the highest overall score for the person who never competed before, which would be a good one too.
Well, so Lantern Rouge is the last place finisher. Finisher being the important
important. Okay.
Yeah, because there's other people that started but didn't finish.
Okay, all right.
So there's nothing wrong with being Lantern Rouge.
Yeah. Joey Dano Guitar says, I could never pull off Driddle's hairstyle. Doug, if you just stop wearing a hat, you could do it.
Anybody can do it, especially when you're forced to.
By nature.
Yeah, all genetic.
Brian Duncan says, another super chat said it sounded like a cat fight back there. Brian, you know what? You're a way better guitar player than
that. Brian's going to be on the other side of that curtain this year.
Michael Beckloff, who was there, said it was a blast and he had so much fun. He was like, can we do okay. You guys don't know this.
Can we do a class with this in the middle
Mike
of it?
asked if we could do a class right around the same time that or actually he's like, I'm gonna be there. Can you have the contest be either at the front of or the end of the workshop I'm gonna be at? Because he's gonna come out with both of his sons and they're gonna I think there might be a handful of other Beckloffs hanging out too. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
So it was super fun. It was really fun to just hang out with everybody and people that have been in classes brought their significant others and it was just it was a great big giant guitar party.
So we're all going to do it again. We're all going to have a good time, and I'm really looking forward to the 100-ounce guitar build challenge, Great American Guitar Building Contest, and I hope to see you there. And someone's going to walk away with a fat stack of cash. So
Yep. And I'm hoping. So if trends continue,
if these trends
first year. We had, I think it was $1,300.
$1,300, yeah.
Second year we had $2,250, somewhere in there.
Let's just say we tack on another $1,000.
Almost double you. Yeah. Maybe $3,000. Can you imagine?
Yep.
Making $3,000 during a party.
Yeah.
And you get to keep the guitar.
Right.
That was the thing. One of the reasons that we wanted to do this was because I was a little bummed out that some of the guitar building contests or challenge things, there was a component where you were forced to give your guitar away to charity, which, okay, it's hardly charity if you're forced to do it.
Yeah, and I think I think we can speak truthfully about this now. That to me, the whole charity part of it sounded like a secondary thing, and it wasn't necessarily the people that organized it. There's no blame placed on them other than letting crowd fund dictate that towards that. Wouldn't it be great if they gave all this money to charity? Yeah, because these guys aren't doing this on their on their lunch hour or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I think that was a way to try and garner more interest in it, which I think
we met a lot of really cool people when we did that.
Oh, absolutely.
Dan Thompson, Brad Ang. I was going to say DeLaFontaine. We even met Dylan as part of it. In a way.
Yeah. And really, it all worked out. But being forced to do that wasn't my favorite part of the contest. For one thing.
Who else? I mean, Phil McKnight was there. That was fun.
Yeah. Phil was there. Yeah. Sorts of cool people.
We had
made lots of fun videos and
I like the banter you guys had back and forth with Phil and Go.
Yeah. Not everybody wanted to banter.
Yeah.
And we had met Phil before, and we met Big D before.
Yeah. And he didn't want to do it.
He was like, I don't feel like doing the wrestling stuff. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we decided early on we were going to be the ugly Americans. So.
And we were.
Yeah, both physically and philosophically.
And beard.
And oh my Lord.
We had big beards.
Two fat guys with beards. I kind of missed the beard. Bad mouthing everybody else.
Chris, your beard was pretty epic.
You were like Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Yeah. I was,
dude. You were
cross-eyed and everything, yeah. But
RVA Guitar says that he's coming out. Curtis says, "I'm trying to keep up here." Mike Beckloff says, "More beer for Devin. You're gonna get drunk
thank
tonight." SS says he misses the beards. Tom says he misses Chris Majan. Nobody misses my beard apparently, but everyone misses your beard, Chris.
There's no sprinkler. It's just me with the hose and my thumb over the hose.
Okay. Doug says, "Sorry, I'm taking credit for you meeting Doug." Okay, Doug is 100% right. I think that a lot of things culminated simultaneously, but if it weren't for Doug, we would not have met Dylan. If it weren't for Doug, we wouldn't have met a lot of cool people. And I got to tell you guys, We have we're going on 5 years now. We have met so many cool people, and we've opened the doors to our shop and invited people in doing workshops and the Great American Guitar Building Contest. I don't know if you know this, but I played in bands in Colorado, in the Denver area for the last, let's just say 20 years. That's a nice round number. Chris has done the same thing. Jim Jam Jimmy has done the same thing. I never met that guy until I stopped playing in bands and opened up this shop.
And we played similar types.
The same venue.
I think I may have seen him play one time.
Okay.
And went.
Exactly. Like we played Herman's Hideaway. We played
all the same bars.
The Skylark. We played all the same places.
It's a small community, and we have a bunch of people in that we all know. Well, well, of course I know that guy. Who doesn't know that guy?
Yep. So,
but anyway.
Anyhow, Curtis says beards and pin routers don't. Mine
never got that long. Beards and spray masks also do not mix.
Actually, it's beards and the deadhead sander don't mix. That you'll get your face sucked right into that thing. It's got an open primary, and
sort of.
Yep.
Pulls.
Yep.
Yeah.
Safety. Safety.
I knew it was time to shave when I went for a big bike ride, and I'm riding my bike, and I turn my head, and my ears go. Oh, I was going really fast. Let's just say I did actually go home and shave that day.
That's right. Remember when we did the thing where we had beards and we shaved them off and just had mustaches?
Yes. That is one of the funniest videos I've ever watched over and over again. And there might still be hair in that sink in back.
There might still be. We don't know. We don't want to know.
No.
Oh, mercy.
Smells like a barbershop back there.
Yeah. Okay, well,
you guys did that on video. I forgot about that.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, and one of us would vamp while the other guy would.
And
neither one of us told the other guy what they were doing, and it was and the rule was you had to keep that for a week.
A week, yeah.
Yeah, which was a really.
I kept mine longer. Yeah,
really hard week for me because I think I had a doctor's appointment. I might have had a dentist appointment that week. Yeah, so you come walking in. I'm here to I'm here to have this teeth replaced with a gold tooth. Yeah. I don't usually look like this. I think I said that once or twice that week.
I think I was able to sell Cutlass Sierra for like 10 times. I sold it over and over and over again
with undercoat.
Yeah. Had it all, dude. Yeah. It was a total 70s. Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah. Okay.
The best part is just watching you come out and then me come out, and we're just laughing our asses off.
But we did it in stages. Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we stepped up because you did that a bunch of years ago, and you ended up with the Doc Holiday.
No, I had the Dwayne Allman, which was like the reverse goatee.
But eventually you ended up with the Doc Holiday and a bunch of quotes, and I was like, that seems really fun.
It was
and
really
I've done that
cool.
several times, and it's like, well, where do you go first? What's your first step? Because you want to ultimately end up at Doc Holiday or Wyatt Earp or whatever. Yeah, Paul Tuttle Sr.
Whatever.
Yeah, and it's hard to decide. It's a fun game. Luckily, face hair grows back.
It's the one good thing.
That's the only thing I can grow.
So anyway, gang, well, we're just about out of time, and I want to remind you guys to go over and hang out with Dylan McCurchie and his lovely wife Leslie. They are also keeping it ad-free. It's kind of a new thing that we're doing on this Thursday night. Of course, I had the idea. It's all me. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I did this because
anybody else.
I did this because I have wanted to be ad free for a while because of some buddies of mine who have a channel on YouTube that can't be monetized. But in any case, we're so the live stream seemed like I'm like, why are we doing ads on the live stream? And Doug, and it was Doug again. All the good ideas come from Doug. He said, these live streams are killing me. Like there's like a zillion of them. And I'm like thinking, well, yeah, why do it then? That's silly. Why have them? And you guys have really stepped up to the plate and helped us out with revenue, because we're not making any ad money on this, and neither is YouTube.
Since we're talking about this,
yeah.
one question. I've been a long time.
I'm all ears for the next 1 minute.
I've been a long time supporter through Patreon, which would be better, me to subscribe, be a member through YouTube or Patreon.
Either one is about both. The same. Or just start writing stuff on $20 bills, and I'll tell you when to stop.
We'll tell you when to stop.
All right,
don't worry.
All right, gang. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll see you tomorrow for a super cool reveal.